Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our today's newspaper. Before getting started, I want to make a small announcement. We in our academy we are going to launch a new batch for GS Films Cum Mains Foundation from this August 2026. Okay, so here the new batch is going to be started from 26th of this August, guys. And if you want to join here, you can join this course, and the key features are the duration is 10 months and the expert faculty will be deal with the syllabus and they'll teach from basic to advanced level, and there will be daily answer writing practice. Along with that, weekly test we are conducting, and we are going to provide you the notes for general studies, and for current affairs we are going to provide you the monthly magazines, guys. And if you have any doubt, I will be staying in the office from morning to evening, and you can come to me directly and you can talk to me. So here, if you have any other queries and if you have any questions, please do contact us on this number 8074765513. Okay, and even anthropology batch related admissions are also closing by this end of this week, guys. And if you want to join, you can join either online or offline, and try to ensure that you're joining by the end of this Saturday at least. Okay, now let us see the important topics of the day. The first one is 7 killed, over a dozen injured in stampede at temple in Bihar. This article is talking about stampede, and this topic is very important from your mains from GS paper 3. And next topic is Murmu gives assent to bill to rename Kerala as Kerala. This article is talking about change in the name of the state, and it is very important from your polity point of view, and this time you can expect a prelims based question on this. And next topic is Karnataka government kicks off Eat Right campaign at Taluk level. This article is talking about Eat Right movement, and you have to know about what is the reason why it is launched and what is the significance of this campaign and what we are going to expect after once this campaign is done. And next topic is Adilabad tribal families name hamlet after collector name. This article is talking about one important case study, like how tribals can show gratitude. And here we have to see like where can we use this article as an example or a case study. And this topic is important from governance point of view. And here we have to see what exactly the problems faced by these tribal areas, and how and what is the role of an IAS officer to solve the problems of these tribal people. And next topic is why Adivasis are resisting the Ken-Betwa river linking project. This article is talking about again what are the reasons why these tribals are resisting this project. And this is important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Okay, see this article, guys, read out this title. 7 killed, over a dozen injured in stampede at temple in Bihar. The key word here is stampede. Where exactly you study about the stampede? In GS paper 3, we have disaster management. In that disaster management, we'll study about this topic. Disaster is nothing but if there is any accident which happened, if that leads to the loss of life of people, loss of property, then we'll consider that incident as disaster. So stampede, because of this stampede, what happened? 7 people were died and many were injured. That means here in this incident also there is a loss of life. So we are considering this stampede as a disaster, and we will study this topic from disaster management from GS paper 3. So what exactly you have to see from this? In 2024 UPSC, from disaster management point of view, they already asked about this question on stampede. And if you are getting this repeatedly, this kind of topics in the news, obviously again they may ask about this question, about this in a question. So what exactly you have to see is what is the meaning of stampede, and you have to collect data of stampedes in India, and next you have to draw a map and you have to find out or locate the regions where recently the stampede happened. And next you have to see what are the factors led to this or causes for the stampedes. And next you have to see what are the impacts of the stampedes. And we have guidelines which is given by NDMA, National Disaster Management Authorities guidelines to prevent the stampedes. You have to know about it. So if UPSC is asking question on stampede, it will not go out of this. It may ask about causes, it may ask about impact, it may ask about suggest some measures, or it may ask about what are the NDMA guidelines. So while you are writing the answer for this question, the data part and map will be acting as a value addition for your answer. And UPSC can ask a question on this stampede, and you have to be very careful. Okay. First of all, let us try to understand what is a stampede. Okay. So what is the meaning of a stampede? Whenever there is a large gathering of people is there. If you are moving in an order in a queue, nothing will happen. Everything will go smoothly. But what happens suddenly if there is any panic, or if there is any fear, anxiety, if there is any announcement that there is a bomb we find here, or if there is any news related to the short circuit, or if there is any news related to the snake is coming. So like that, if that kind of news or the false news, if it had spread, what happened? People, will they move in an order? For sure no. They will move uncontrollably. So they will not follow any order. So because of this, what happened? That will lead to trampling. Trampling means one will fall on another. If somebody fall down, what happens? Someone will be kicking them. So like that, what happened? Obviously, that will lead to death and as well as increased injuries also. So this is called a stampede. Stampede means nothing but whenever there's a large group of gathering of people and they will move in an uncontrolled manner. That will lead to suffocation, trampling, and finally leads to death. And some people will be having injuries. So this kind of events are called as stampedes. And there are three important areas where we can see the stampedes frequently. The three important areas where we will see the stampedes here is, first one is religious gatherings, especially in these temples or whenever people are gathering at ghats, mass bathing. So like that, in that events we can see this kind of stampedes. First one is religious gathering, and second one here is political campaigns. Whenever there are political campaigns, recently happened in the state of Tamil Nadu, right? You know about it, which a political campaign, because of that stampede happened, many people died. So second important reason here is political campaigning. And third important reason is celebrities. You know about Bangalore stampede because of RCB, yes? And next one is here Allu Arjun stampede in Sandhya Theatre in Hyderabad. So because of this three reasons, we can see stampedes. These are the most common reasons why we can see the stampedes. And you have to remember this: religious gatherings, political campaigning, and because of celebrities. Okay, so actually this kind of stampedes, you're triggered by panic or excitement. Sometimes it can be the result of rumor or fear, because of limited space, because of sudden movements. That will lead to chaotic situations. People cannot understand what they can do in that situation and they will move uncontrollably. And next important point that you have to remember is, there are many studies which are saying that around 79% of stampedes in India happens at this religious gatherings. Very important point. And what are the causes? First one is because of structural failures. There are weak temporary structures and there is poor barricading. And whenever we are having very narrow exit and as well as entry points, that will lead to this kind of stampedes. And second one is poor crowd control. So whenever we are underestimating the number of people they are going to gather in that area, and if you're not having proper plan to organize these people, whenever we are having inadequate exit and even uncontrolled access, obviously that will lead to this kind of stampedes. And this one is whenever there is spread of false alarms and as well as whenever there is increased spread of rumors, obviously that will lead to this kind of stampedes. And this one is whenever there is any fire or any electrical issues like short circuits, lack of fire extinguishers, poor lighting, that will also create this kind of panic situations. And this one is lack of coordination. If there is a poor planning among the agencies, whenever they are not responding on the time, and if they don't have proper real monitoring system, that will also worsen this crisis. These are the factors that will lead to this stampedes. And now we have to see what are the guidelines given by this NDMA to prevent the stampedes. And you have to make a note of it. On this, UPSC can ask you a 10 marks question. So first important point here is, whenever we are organizing any event, either it may be political campaign, either it may be religious gathering. So first we need to go for proper estimation of crowd. How many people are going to be expected in that area? And next one here is, we have to focus on control entry points. So from which area we have to allow the people, and how many exit points are there. And next one is, we have to regulate the footfall. Like if the people are falling down, how we have to control that. And next one is, we have to improve infrastructure and safety measures. We have to ensure that barricades, they all should be very strong. They should not be like weak barricades. And next one is, emergency exit should be there at each level. And next one is, we need to ensure adequate ventilation. And next one is, we have to train the security staff. And next one is, we can use the CCTV cameras or the drones so that we can have the real-time monitoring of the people in that area. And next one is, we need to have emergency preparedness before happening of something. So our government need to deploy medical teams and as well as ambulances, firefighting units, so that we can focus on rapid response. And next one is, obviously we need to increase public awareness. So whatever the information they want, they should be given through the form of messages, or we need to have a proper announcing system, and we need to ensure there are signboards like where what is there, how to move, everything we need to use a proper signboards. And even if possible, we can arrange a helpline number so that people will call to that number to know the details. Okay, so these are the things that we have to do. These are the guidelines of this NDMA to control the stampedes. But why you need to know about it? In future, recently Sammakka Saraka Jatra happened in Telangana state, who became very viral, IPS officer, what is her name? Yes, Vasundhara, right? So if you are aiming to become an IPS or IAS, obviously you need to organize this kind of gatherings. If something wrong happens, then it will be your responsibility or your failure, no? So for that, you need to know about proper crowd control mechanism. On this, UPSC can ask you a case study, because these are the things that you will do in future. And you need to know about your role, how you are organizing people. So where are the entry points? How many number of people you are estimating to reach there? So what happens if more number comes? What about the time of darshan? What about this VIP darshan? Everything you need to properly organize everything. For that reason, you need to have a good thorough knowledge of crowd control mechanisms. And even, recently student protest happened, Chalo Sansad. And in that time also, obviously, it is your role to control law and order situation in that area. Again, how we are controlling this crowds, that will be also an important thing that you need to know. That is why there is the topic called as disaster management in your syllabus. Clear? Okay, now let us see the next article. See the title, guys. Murmu gives assent to bill to rename Kerala as Kerala. What is this article talking about? Changing the name of the state. Okay, in which subject you will read about this? In polity from GS paper 2. So now you guys tell me which articles in our Indian constitution talks about union and its territory. Part 1, 1, 2, 3 and 4 talks about union and its territories. First 4 articles, 1, 2, 3, 4. In yesterday's class we discussed about article 1. Why we discussed? India is an example of unity. For that we discussed about article 1. So which article talks about the naming of the states? Article 3 or 2? Very good. Article 3 of Indian Constitution talks about this renaming of state. Can anyone tell me what all things are included in this Article 3? Renaming of state. Next. Yes, alteration of boundaries, alteration of name. Next. Increasing or decreasing of the area of the state. Yes, recall all these things. So for sure now President gave assent to this bill which now allows to change the name of Kerala state with Kerala. That means can you expect a question on this? So here the important topic from the polity this year is Article 3. Write down Article 3 and keep star mark. How they can give the question? Consider the following statements regarding Article 3 of Indian Constitution. Under that, it can give you 2 to 3 statements and it may ask you to identify correct or incorrect statements. That is the first. And second type of question is consider the following statements regarding the changing of the name of the state. Under that, it will ask you about what is the process to be followed for the naming of the state. Under that, it can give you 2 to 3 statements. And we have Article 1, 2, 3, 4 talks about union and its territories. It can give on one side Article 1, 2, 3, 4, on another side what it is, and it can ask you to match the follow. In that way, 3 types of questions you can expect. You cannot expect any mains based question on this case, but prelims you can expect in 2027. So now let us see about this article. So here you have to know about even origin of this word Kerala. In your interview, if you are from Kerala, so how the question can be asked? So recently the name of Kerala state had been changed to Kerala. What is the significance of this word Kerala? And can you explain what is the historical root of Kerala? Kerala. Like that they may ask you about history of this word, why they chose this word Kerala. Are you understanding? So in that way, in interview, you may get a question. If there is any current affairs related to your state, to which you belongs to. If there is current affairs, they will be asking you. For example, for AP guys, they will be asking about for sure. Which kind of questions they will ask? Capital. First one is capital. What is the rationality about these 3 capitals? What is your opinion on this? And the second and the most important question is about tobacco. AP is the largest producer of tobacco. You know, right? Tobacco. On this tobacco, you can expect for sure one question. Tobacco one question, capital one question. And for Telangana students, which kind of questions you can expect in interview? Telangana movement, new state. It is a latest state, no? Yes? Did it achieve its objectives? So what do you think? Why this movement started? Why this Telangana bifurcation happened? So like that, they will ask about this Telangana if you are from Telangana state. Okay, so in that way, you have to see about your state current affairs and you need to know about the history of your state. For example, if your state is having issues of water sharing, for example, if you are from Karnataka, water sharing issue between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu always will be in the news. So they will be asking about your opinion, how can we solve that kind of problems. So whatever the problems which are there for your state historically, geographically, on that UPSC can ask you a question. If you are from Delhi, which kind of questions they will ask? Pollution of Delhi, and they will be asking about is Delhi safe for women or not? Okay, so like that, if there is any current affairs, for example, last year there was issue of water issue in MP, yes or no? Narmada pipeline mixed with sewage, and that led to the large people got lots of disease and they admitted in the government hospital and many were died. So the students from MP, they got this random question on this only about water safety issues. So like that, if there is any important thing which is in news in your state, at that time, they will be asking about the question. And if this kind of constitutional based current affairs are there means, they will be asking that kind of questions based on the articles, based on the process, what is your opinion, whether we achieve the objectives or not, what are the challenges, what are the issues, like that they will be asking you questions in your interview. Those will be the perspective based questions and you need to have a good communication skills so that you can express your feelings clearly to that panel members. Clear? Okay, now if you see about this origins of Kerala, they are epigraphic and etymological roots. So actually you know about Emperor Ashoka belongs to which dynasty? Mauryan Empire. Yes, he was the greatest of Mauryan Empire. And if you see this Ashoka, for sure we need to know about major and minor rock edicts. On this, UPSC repeatedly asked question in prelims. So even in the Rock Edict 2 of Emperor, there is one reference called as Kerala Putra. Okay, if you see what it does means it is referring to Chera dynasty. That is the one etymological root of this Kerala. And if you see the linguistic evolution of this word Kerala, a renowned German scholar, and his name is Gundert. So he compiled first Malayalam English dictionary. In that dictionary, he used this word Keralam, and he said that this word Keralam got evolved from Cheram or Cheralam. What is meaning of Cheram or Cheralam means? Chair means join, Alam means land. This is nothing but the land which is present between Gokarnam and Kanyakumari. The meaning of Kerala means the land between this Gokarnam and Kanyakumari. So this is the history of from where this word Kerala came from. Okay, how you can get a question? Recently Kerala, or else in this way you can get a question. Recently Kerala state renamed its states as Kerala. What does it refer to? I will give you ABCD options. Kerala is nothing but the land which is present between this Gokarnam and Kanyakumari. So in that way also UPSC can frame you a question whether you know about this current affairs or not, because you are preparing for central services. You don't know from where or in which area you will be getting posted. So for sure you need to know about the meaning, right? So for that reason UPSC can test your knowledge like whether you know what is the meaning of word Kerala. Are you understanding? And now if you see about this Article 3 of Indian Constitution, which talks about formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries and changing of name of existing states. You know about this Article 3, right? Okay, what is the procedure here? What is the procedure we need to follow for changing the names of the states? Anyone? Who has to start this procedure? Respected state has to come up with a resolution. And this resolution had to be given to which ministry? Ministry of Home Affairs. And now what this Home Affairs will do? Home Affairs has to get no objection certificate from different stakeholders. Which are those different stakeholders? We have Ministry of Railways, we have Intelligence Bureau, we have Department of Post, we have Survey of India, we have Registrar General of India. So like that, from different departments, it will get NOC. After getting NOC, what this ministry will do? Ministry will clear the proposal which made by this state government. And after that, that bill then can be introduced in the parliament, but the prior approval of president is compulsory. So after once the president, if that resolution went to this president, what happened? President will ask the view of state legislature. So we got a resolution about increasing of area or decreasing of area, changing of boundary or change name. So what is your opinion? And now state government will be giving its views. Is that binding on the president? It is not binding. So now what happened? President will place that bill in parliament and they'll go for voting. So which majority we need? Just a simple majority. It is not considered as amendment to our constitution under Article 368. Yes. So just if it is passed with simple majority in the both the houses, then what happened? President has to give assent. After president give the assent, in which schedule the change will happen? Change happens in one, right? What it will be talking about in one? It is talking about the names of union and its territories. That is nothing but the states and unions names will be there. Now instead of Kerala, they will strike out and they will keep Kerala. So in that way, here the changes will happen. Yeah, you can see that. Just names, no. Schedule 4 change, it won't happen. It is about members of Rajya Sabha. Only the name. Only the name will be changed in this first schedule. Okay. Yeah. So here you can get a question in prelims about this. For sure, guys. and you have to know about this process. They may ask about what prior recommendation of president is necessary or not. And next one, what they'll do, they will ask about the majority which is required, and what they will ask other than this, which scheduler change of name will happen. So like that, these three are the priority areas that UPSC will be focusing in giving of statements. Okay, see this article guys, Karnataka government kicks off Eat Right campaign at taluk level. Keyword here is Eat Right. What is Eat Right campaign? So as you all know that there is increased NCDs. NCDs is nothing but non-communicable diseases. So what are these non-communicable diseases? They cannot be transmitted from one person to another person while we are communicating with them. Yes or no? So here what is happening here? Now there is changing of lifestyle of people. Nowadays no exercise, only sedentary lifestyle, very lazy lifestyle, and we are consuming more and more calories. So not doing any work and consuming more and more calories. Like we are consuming more what? Junk food. So because of this fast food, junk food, cheese, butter, ice creams, cakes, pastries, they are having more sugary foods also. We are consuming more sugary foods. So because of this, what is happening? There is increased trans fatty acid deposition. Fatty acid deposition is happening, and even there is increased level of bad cholesterol. So in this cholesterol, we have two cholesterols, you know this, right? We have good cholesterol and we have bad cholesterol. And if you see the chemical names, we have HDL, LDL, high density lipoproteins and low density lipoproteins. This high density lipoproteins are good cholesterol. They can be easily saturated and they can be converted to energy, or they can be easily eliminated from our body. But the bad one here is low density cholesterol. So here it cannot be easily converted into another form, or it cannot be converted into energy, just that will be depositing in the blood vessels. So because of this, what happened, whenever this cholesterol is deposited in the blood vessels, that will lead to narrowing of the blood vessels. So that will lead to increased blood pressure, and that will lead to slowly heart failure, heart attacks, myocardial infarction, coronary artery disease. We have different diseases related to this heart. And even what happened, because of this high level cholesterol, even that will be having impact on our pancreas. That will lead to diabetes mellitus also. So recently one study said that if you take every 5 children in India, one child is having this problem of obesity. It is a responsibility of government to increase the health awareness or not. So for that reason, Karnataka government launched this Eat Right campaign. So what is this Eat Right campaign? So they are organizing into different teams. They are called as citizen-led food safety watch teams at taluk level. And these teams will include senior citizens, food safety officials, and experienced chefs also. And what they will do here is they will try to give awareness about which food to be taken and which food to be avoided, how the processed foods are affecting our health system, and which kind of exercises that we have to do to burn our calories so that we will stay fit. So how can you use this article whenever you're talking about health, whenever you're talking about NCDs, whenever you want to give any measures to overcome this kind of challenges? Obviously you can use this. Recently Kerala government launched this Eat Right campaign. In the same way, we have to increase awareness programs in other areas where there is high rate of problems in the children. So like that you can use this article guys. And next article, see here, Adilabad tribal families name hamlet after collector. So it is an example we can take as part of gratitude to someone. Yes or no? So here what we have to understand, what are the problems faced by these tribal families? What are the problems normally faced by these tribes? Lack of education, illiteracy, or there is very low education levels, and they do not have proper skills, right? They will have very low technology, right? And next one is because of urbanization, because of increasing of agriculture, because of construction of developmental activities, the encroachment in this areas is happening, and this traditional tribal land is reducing day by day. And do we have proper connectivity with these areas? They live in remote areas, in forest regions. Do we have facilities like road and even buses, autos, or whatever it may be? So they do not have proper connectivity in that area. And do they have basic facilities like houses, sanitation, bathroom facilities? Very, very less. So here, this article is saying that in Adilabad, we have tribal community and they belongs to PVTGs. What is this PVTGs? Particularly vulnerable tribal group. So when can we say certain community as a PVTG? First one is their population should be reducing or stagnant, and they should have the primitive technology, and they should be economically and socially backward, right? So if these criteria is satisfied, then we can say that community as a PVTG. And in India, how many PVTs are there? 75. That is a prelims question 2019. In 2019, the prelims question was in this way. Consider the following statements regarding PVTGs. Another, they gave 3 statements and they asked to identify correct. So if you gone through this PYQs, then you will be understanding what exactly I am saying. Okay, so actually the PVT community name here is Kolam. So in Adilabad, in which state we have this Adilabad? In Telangana only. And this Adilabad has high rate of tribal population. And these people are very backward actually. So here, you know this scheme of Indiramma Illu, Indiramma housing scheme. So actually, this Indiramma housing scheme is providing houses for this Kolam families in this Adilabad. But the major problem faced by these people is there is no land to build that houses under that scheme. Under that scheme, government can sanction the amount to build these houses. But the problem is these people don't have the land or pattas. So how can they use that money to build the house? Is that possible? No. So what this IAS officer of that area did is, he identified around 17 government plots and he issued pattas on their name. And after once these people got pattas and they started building their houses, and finally they completed building of houses. In the gratitude, what they did, they named that entire area after the name of that IAS officer as Rajarshi Guda. So because of this, it is in news now. Okay, so this is not for the first time in that area naming after an area on this IAS officer name. Even in 2020 also, there was one more community called as Totti families, and they belongs to Adilabad itself. In that area also, people used to face the same kind of land problem. At that time, collector name is D. Divya. She helped them related to this securing of land. So because of this, that entire colony named under this name of Dr. Divya as D Divya as Divya Guda. So this is the second time the tribals showed gratitude towards IAS officers who helped them. So where exactly you can use this article? In GS paper 2, we have social issues. In that we have a topic called as vulnerable sections of society. There we have tribes. So whenever you're talking about how to help the tribes, in that you can use this article as an example, like they were showing gratitude after so and so people they had helped them to get livelihood opportunities, like that. And even in your anthropology paper too, you have entirely tribal anthropology, chapter 6, 7, 8 and 9. In that also you can use this article as a case study of the way they show gratitude towards the people. And even in your anthropology, you will come across lots of tribes, how they will show gratitude, everything. From that point of view also, you can use this latest current affairs. And next here, you have to see one more important area. Not only this IAS officer helped them to secure the land and to build their houses. And even the other things he did was, he announced the provision of goat and dairy buffalo units. That means you are providing proper livelihood related to animal husbandry for them. And next, one more step here is, he promised even free tailoring machine training for women. So they are providing certain livelihood opportunities for the women of this community. And next one is to improve employment opportunities. They are also going to provide skills for this local youth who completed intermediate and degree. So what are the skills they required? So they are also providing this skills. And next important thing here is they are also providing drinking water facilities, and even they are increasing electricity access, and even they are constructing roads to improve connectivity here. So because of all these steps taken by this IAS officer in that area, they are showing gratitude towards him. Okay, so now you have to think about if you are posted in one tribal hamlet, so how you are going to improve the life or standard of living of that person. Normally, if you go after clearing examination, you will go to training where Lavasana. So in that you will studying all this kind of case studies, who did what and what you have to do, like that. Okay, so special classes will be on this only, like who did what happened. So what is a real case study, and if you're going for IPS training, so which kind of crimes are there, how you have to use technology, so how they chased that case, which kind of investigation they did, everything you'll study there. So this kind of things only. Okay, so now if there is any question related to what are the problems faced by the tribals, you have to remember that common problems faced by these tribals in that area, and you have to include the current affairs, you have to include the data, and even you have to include this kind of articles as a case study. Clear? Okay, see this article guys, read out the title. Why Adivasis are resisting the Ken-Betwa river linking project. So already we discussed about this Ken-Betwa linking project, and this Saturday you have current affairs test, no? I am revealing one question. There is one question on this Ken-Betwa river linking project. I don't know, I'll see how many of you keep that right. I revealed one question. Okay, yesterday night only I prepared that paper. Not it completed, only half. In that one question is Ken-Betwa river linking project. Amma, smiling faces. Okay, see this guys, what is this article? Already in the last month also we discussed about this Ken-Betwa river linking project, right? So what this project is about? What are the surplus water is there in this Ken river? We are diverting it to Betwa river, right? So how we are diverting? We are constructing dams and we are constructing canals and we are diverting the water. So it is done in two phases. What is that first phase? We are constructing dam on river Ken. What is the dam name? Daudan Dam. I had said about this dam, no? I don't know whether you can recall it or not. So this project is India's the first ever river linking project, and it is proposed as part of National Perspective Plan, and we came up with that plan in 1980s. So it is the first plan. And actually one important thing that you have to remember is we are transferring surplus water from Ken river in Madhya Pradesh to Betwa river in UP. And these two rivers are tributaries of which river? Yamuna. Yamuna in turn tributary of which river? Ganga river system. Okay, and we are constructing dams under this phases. First one is we are constructing Daudan Dam on the Ken river. And second one is we are developing lower Ore Dam across Ore river, which is tributary of river Betwa. And we are connecting these two rivers through canals and as well as dams. And what is the major aim here? We want to divert water so that we can provide water in drought prone areas, and we can increase irrigation facilities, and we can bring more amount of land under cultivation. And next one is we want to generate even hydroelectricity also by this project. So these are the main aims and objectives of this project. Okay, now why Adivasis are resisting? The first important reason here is if they want to build this dam, obviously they have to leave that place. They have to be displaced and translocated. The first reason here is there will be large scale displacement of this people from ancestral villages. From that means from generations onwards you are living in that area. Because of this dam they have to leave that area. That is the first one. And next one here is there will be loss of traditional livelihood. So what is the livelihood of these people? They will be depending on the forest for getting of their minor forest produce, and even they will do shifting agriculture or farming to some extent on the banks of the river. So they will be losing all this traditional livelihood. And each one is government has to give compensation for them, right, for displacement. So whatever the compensation given by the government will be very less, inadequate. And even they are going to lose their forest rights also. And this one is, it is also a threat to their cultural identity, community life, and even generational land. So actually that land had been passed from the generations to the present generation. So if they are leaving that land, they will be losing this generational land rights also. And this one is, obviously it is having impact on the forest because it is going towards this Panna Tiger Reserve. So here it is one important problem related to this environment, and even the many trees had been felling down because of this project, and obviously it will be impacted on this local ecosystem on which they depend upon. So like that we have lots of negative impacts of this project. So because of this, tribal people are resisting against them. Clear? And now let us see the questions. See this question. The first one is, consider the following statements regarding Ken-Betwa link project. Daudan Dam is located on Ken River. The project includes canal linking the Ken and Betwa river system. The project is confined entirely to Uttar Pradesh. It is between which states? MP and UP, not entirely UP. So this third statement will be incorrect. So answer will be 1 and 2. And say this next question with reference to the proposed change of the name of Kerala to Kerala, that is already changed. So here the question will be like, with reference to the change of name of Kerala to Kerala, consider the following statements. There are 4 statements. First one is, Article 3 of the Constitution deals with alteration of the names of an existing state. Is that right? That means for sure 1 will be there in your answer. A bill for changing the name of a state can be introduced in the parliament only on the recommendation of the president. That means 2 should be there. Okay. The president must refer such a bill to the concerned state legislature for expressing its views. For sure, yes. And say this, the views of state legislature are binding on the parliament. It is not at all binding. And which majority we need? Simple majority. Okay. So answer will be B, 1, 2 and 3. 4 is incorrect. Okay. So like that, try to answer in that way. That's all guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to join this GS Foundation course, please to contact us either on WhatsApp or directly you can call on this number 8074765513. And I wish you all the best guys. Thank you so much.